What up, Bookish fam? Welcome back to Coffee Over Apples. My name's Steph, and I was gonna change out of this shirt for this video because I just finished filming another video, but this is a rock and roll book tag. This is the Black Parade tag created by Natalie over at Pastel Writer. Thank you, Natalie, for a very cool book tag inspired by My Chemical Romance. They were supposed to be on tour this year. Things have happened. Apparently it's been postponed. I don't have tickets to it, but if you do, I feel your pain. Here are my answers to the Black Parade book tag.
It could change the world.
If you hear a weird buzzing sound in the back, it's my fridge. Apologies. But I wrote down the questions in my llama notebook, and I wrote down the questions in my llama notebook because what are brain cells? I'm going to be tagging a couple people at the end of this video. So, question number 1 is the end. Your favorite last book in a series. If you know me, you know what the answer to this question is. I love Becky Chambers so much, and this is the last book in her Wayfarer series that I read recently because me and my sci-fi buddies binge read the entire series in the first few months of 2021, and this book is everything. It is so wholesome, it is so sweet. It is just like perfection. Each book in this series could work as a standalone, but each book is building off of characters from previous books. If you haven't read the Wayfarer series and you've never read sci-fi before, but you don't want to get into like dystopian sci-fi, you want something lighter and happier, and that's just gonna fill your heart with so much joy, please read this. Oh my god, it's like literal perfection. So sweet. Just, I cried during the vlog for most of these books. I cried quite a bit. Feel free to go watch it. Question number 2 is dead. An unlikable character who got what they deserved, or an unlikable character who should have gotten what was coming to them. Literally everyone in Salem's Lot, okay? This was a high stakes book. No one was safe. There were a ton of unlikable characters here, and everyone kind of got what was coming to them. The entire town essentially spirals down into the abysses of hell. It's just like fantastic horror read. Everyone's unlikable, horrible things happen, blood and gore and guts. It's great. Question number 3. This is How I Disappear, a book where your ship didn't sail. Okay, this is a romance manga. This is Wish by Clamp. It's only got 4 volumes. I love this manga. I love it so much. It is so freaking sweet. The sweetest thing. I've read this series twice and I've loved it every single time, but essentially it's an angels and demons story where this angel comes down to earth to do something, to do an assignment for God, and gets stuck and ends up getting stuck in a tree, basically being cornered by a cat or something, and a human man comes and saves the angel, but according to the rules, if someone helps an angel, they have to return the favor, but the man doesn't want anything from them. And it's just so sweet. There's quite a few different angel, demon, angel, human, demon, human couples in here. It's just, some things work out, some things don't. That's okay. Next question is the Sharpest Lives, a character who is a party animal or a character who uses humor or drinking. or etc. as bad coping mechanisms. All right, I have not talked about this book enough on my channel. This is one of my favorite books of all time, and I need to do a reread because I've only read it once, and I have a habit of not rereading books because I'm scared that the second time I'm gonna find flaws and I just want to bask in the nostalgia. But Everything Matters by Ron Curry Jr. Our main character, Junior, spirals into drinking and drugs. Essentially, the premise of the story is he knows from the day that he's born. He's known from before he's born because the book starts out with him as a zygote inside his mother's womb. He knows that the world is going to end from a meteor when he turns 36. And no one believes him, and there's nothing he can do about it. So what do you do when you know you're gonna die? And he just spirals into drugs and drinking at a certain point, but it doesn't stay there. Lots of things happen. It's a great book. I loved it. I loved it. Didn't see the end coming, like, at all. And I wish more people read this so that we could talk about it. But love it. I get his coping mechanism. I get it. He literally knows that the world is gonna end. Like, what does he do with this? What is the point of living? It's just, it touches on some really sensitive topics. It's just so powerful. Please read it. The next question is, welcome to the Black Parade, a book that convinced you to join the fandom. Okay, this is my second Brandon Sanderson read, and it's official, I'm a stan. Okay, I'm part of the Cosmere year-long crab-along with a bunch of other friends on booktube, and basically we're reading a different book out of the Cosmere for the entire year of 2021. We read Warbreaker. I really enjoyed it, but I didn't like 100% love it. This one was everything. It was so dark. It was so great. I mean, there were moments where I was like, okay, but did we have to do that? Or like, was that necessary? But there were more moments that put a smile on my face, and it was adult and it was dark and it just went places that I was like, yes, I'm here for this. So Mistborn officially teetered me into a Brando Sando Crabbo fan. Fantastic. I'm here for it. So I'm currently reading Wall of Ascension and loving it at the time of filming this. I don't know when this video is going to go up, if it's going to go up after our Wall of Ascension live show or what, but I'm a stan. Next question is, I Don't Love You, a book with a toxic relationship or a book where the characters break up at some point. I literally just finished filming with this shirt on. My rant review for The Wives by Taryn Fisher. That book sucked. That book was focused on a toxic relationship. Our main character was super unreliable, and everyone in that book was toxic. There was not a single redeeming character in that book. So the epitome of toxicity is that. House of Wolves, a character who isn't afraid to speak their mind. Okay, the credit for this has to go to Amelia from Fat Chance Charlie Vega. I adore this book. It is a YA romance, which is very much out of my comfort zone, but I ship these characters so hard, and the best friend in this book is named Amelia. She stands up for her best friend. She speaks her mind. If anyone tries to bully Charlie, she is right there in the ring saying, oh no, you didn't. I love her. Everyone needs a friend like Amelia. She's just great. I love her so much. Perfect best friend. The next question is Cancer, a book about illness or with a character coming to terms with a terminal illness. Okay, immediately my mind went to Recursion by Blake Crouch. I adore Blake Crouch. Recursion was so good. Recursion is focused on a team of scientists who are trying to find a cure for Alzheimer's and accidentally end up opening rifts to multiple dimensions. It's fantastic. It is great, hard sci-fi, physics galore. It is just, I had such a good time. I wish that Blake Crouch wrote more in this style, because I believe the only other things by him I haven't read are his Wayward Pine series, and I just don't want to start another series right now. I feel like I have a million series that I'm in the middle of. So I wish that he just had more standalones, because I would pick them up like this. They're just, everything that I've read by him has been 4 to 5 stars. Amazing. And the cover of Recursion is gorgeous. I love this cover. I don't have a physical copy because I borrowed it from my library, but I need one. I need a copy so I can read it and annotate it, and just so good. The next question is Mama, a character who is unabashedly bad or evil, or a rebellious character that isn't scared to disappoint their mama. And I have a anime manga answer for this, Inuyasha, because I'm currently supposed to be in the middle of this series. I'm working my way through. It's 56 volumes, and I just grabbed a random volume, but this is volume number 10. Shomaru, who is Inuyasha's brother, I'll put a picture over here. Inuyasha is the half-human good guy, so Shomaru is the full demon, bad to the bone, bad brother who might secretly have a good bone in his body somewhere. But yeah, he is like, I'm evil, I want to kill all humans, do what you want, hate me, love me, I don't care, I'm gonna get what I want. And that's kind of just the trope that he plays, which is fine. Very trope heavy with the characters. It's okay, we forgive it. This is a very old manga from like 1999. The next question is Sleep, a book about dreams or where dreams play an important role. I hope that I'm remembering this correctly, because this is also one of my all-time favorite books. And I'm 99% sure that there is dream archiving in this book. I need to reread it, but my mind immediately went to the scene in this book where there's a room and there's these spears and antlers and things, and one of our main characters is like, pretty sure they were archiving dreams, or were they studying dreams that were archived? I don't exactly remember. I could be wrong, but that's just reason why I need to reread this book, and why I need to just in general reread favorite books, because I read them once, which was years ago, and I barely remember too much except specific scenes that were really well described, so they're burned into my imagination, and I'm just like, it's like having a warm cup of eggnog in the winter time, and it just feels like you're home with family, but you don't know who's in the room because you can't remember what happened. That is such a bad analogy, but you get what I'm saying. For the question, Teenagers, a book written by a teenager or an adult novel where a teenager plays an important role. I'm gonna go on a little rant here, and I'm gonna say anything by Jay Kristoff, because this is the reason why I will not be reading any of his books. I'm really tired of it. It also happens in Mistborn and quite a few other books where our main character is a teenager, and that trope just drives me crazy. But with everything that's going on with Jay Kristoff, and you know, I was just never really super interested in his books anyway. I mean, I adore Illuminae series, but he wrote that with Amy Kaufman, so anything by those two I really enjoyed. But anything by himself, I just don't care for. And he has a habit of making his main character a young teenage girl and sexualizing them. Is it an adult book? Yes, it's an adult book. It's not meant for teenagers, but that doesn't work for me. I don't like it. Like I said, the main character in Mistborn is also a teenager, but she's not sexualized, and there's a difference there. Like, she's a teenager who's gone through some serious stuff, and that psychological damage plays a big role in the decisions that she makes, but she's not a sex icon. Jay Kristoff has a bad habit of doing that from what I've heard, and that just does not interest me. So I am not recommending those books. I'm just saying there's an author who does it all the time, and that's why I have no interest in reading them. Watch me repeat that answer for when I do the anti-TBR tag. For Disenchanted, a character who is a musician. Baby, can you dig your man? We know Larry Underwood as a very prominent character in The Stand. If you've never read The Stand, it is one of Stephen King's best works. This is the original copy that I read as a teenager. This book is so old. I've had this book for like 15 years. When was this copy published? I think this is a 1990 copy, but I'm pretty sure I read this in like, no, this can't be a 1990 copy. I read this in like 2006. I was in high school. I was a young, small bean in high school, and I loved this book. But Larry Underwood is a musician. He was a musician before the apocalypse happened. He's still a musician kind of after the apocalypse, but there's my answer to that. I really need to do a reread of this again. I love this book. I'm mentioning a lot of all-time favorites in this video. Thanks for letting me do that, Natalie, because I really don't get a chance to talk about my all-time favorites enough, like ever. Next question is famous last words, a book that saved your life, or a book that you read at the perfect time of your life, or a character who inspires or motivates you. This book literally is life-changing for me, and that's the Period Repair Manual, because it is written by a medical professional to explain to women exactly why we get PMS or what different women's diseases do to our bodies, how they work, where they come from, debunking myths and stereotypes about PMS and periods, and just like everything you need to know about a period is here. I did a full single bookmark review video about it, so please feel free to check that out. I'll try to leave a card there, here, some link description somewhere. But I need to reread this again because I highlighted like so much because there were so many moments in here that were very helpful to not just me but other women in my life who I think deal with really strong PMS or talks about endometriosis or just how periods work. What is inside birth control, just talking about all the information so you can stay informed in order to make the best decision for your body. So it doesn't really talk negatively about really anything. It's just like, here's the facts that you may not be aware of. Now you know them, so you can decide what's best for you. Literally life-changing for me. And the bonus question is called Blood, a book about vampires. I have to highlight Devil's Line because I read this entire manga series at the end of 2020 and it was so good. Like coming off of the natural high of reading Tokyo Ghoul and then reading Devil's Line, which is about vampires, but a world in which vampires live with humans and there's laws where they can get married, but there's certain restrictions to what they could do, and we're following a team of like FBI vampires who are breaking up rings of mafia vampires. It's just, whew, it was really good. The diversity in this book, the LGBT rep in this book was some of the most diversity that I've ever seen in a manga series, and I loved it. Loved it. So if you're open to horror and erotica and you're looking for a really good romance, LGBTQ diverse storyline, this manga is great. Okay, those are my answers for the Black Parade My Chemical Romance inspired book tag. I hope you guys enjoy that. I'm gonna tag some people now that I think will really enjoy this tag, and hopefully they will also answer them, because I'm pretty sure that I've heard them say at some point that they like My Chemical Romance, or I think that they'll just really like these questions. First person I'm gonna tag is Eric over at Break Even Books, because I know that he's always looking for new tag to do, and since this is a fairly new tag, I'm super confident that he hasn't done it yet. So Eric, I'm tagging you. I'm also tagging Jessi from the Bookish Mom. I'm pretty sure, I think Jessi likes My Chemical Romance, or I know we've like meshed over rock and roll before, so it's pretty cool. I'm also tagging Max over at Max Reads. I'm tagging Cidnya at Cidnya Reads, because I'm pretty sure that both Max and Cidnya said that they like My Chemical Romance. And I'm also gonna tag Bree and Casey from Books Before Death. There we go, that's who I'm tagging. I hope that you guys like this video. If you want to support me, I have a Ko-fi and a GoFundMe down below. The GoFundMe is to help me with my college adventures, and I post videos every week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
What's it making, Mr. One?